Welcome to Words Have Power Murder Hour. I'm Shelly, and you are. I'm gonna try not to cuss, but some of the stuff that I'm going to talk about in this episode will make me angry. Just putting it out there. Okay, so if you've watched my prior episodes on terminology of abuse, you know what I'm doing here. Okay, so lipstick. My lipstick looks orange, but it is not. It is red. Lighting is a weird thing for me. So this, the lettering is so small. This is called the Roll It Up Lip Liner. I can't even begin to read this lettering. Is this gonna show up? Nope, it's not going to. Okay, it's like a reddish kind of mauve almost. And then I used this lip liner. Let's see if I can read this. This would be like a quest for us on these episodes. Quibest. Okay. Quibest? I'm not sure. But it's a red. It's like a dark red. Looks orange in this lighting. Blows my mind. And then I'm using a little bit of Super Lustrous The Gloss by Revlon. Love this stuff. I'm almost out of it now because I use it all the time, just without lipstick. This stuff is awesome. Okay, that's the makeup portion. Keep that in mind if you need to. So on this episode, I'm going to be talking about financial abuse, which irritates me to no end. Because people will say, why didn't you just leave? But if your abuser is controlling your finances and you don't have any money, how are you going to leave? If they've isolated you and you may not have friends or family near you to help you, they're controlling your money. They could be controlling your vehicle, your cell phone, every friggin' thing else. How exactly are you going to leave? Can somebody please riddle me that, Batman? Because I don't understand. Okay, so on smartmoneymamas.com, Women's History Money, in 1974, the Equal Credit Opportunity Act was passed. So this legislation made it illegal to deny credit on the basis of sex or marital status, and also race, color, national origin, religion, etc. The law applies to banks, retailers, bank card companies, finance companies, and credit unions. It also prohibits asking about marital status or whether or not the borrower has plans to have children. Why? Why is that? Because this country took on the laws of England, and according to those laws, a woman became one with a man when she got married. She was not her own human. The man had all of the rights and owned all of her property upon marriage, meaning she had nothing. So let's say she was ridiculously wealthy. If she got married, that man suddenly owned all of her property and all of her wealth. So if something happened, and back then it was scandalous to get divorced. It was not something that was lightly done, if done at all. That woman could be left destitute with nothing, because men had all the rights and women had none. So here in America, because we took on those laws from England, a woman would have to maybe have her husband get a bank account for her, or co-sign on a bank account, on a joint account, or anything a woman wanted to do, her husband would have to give her permission to do. But women have always had it so easy in this country. People who say that and think that are just ill-informed, to say the least. 2009, the Lilly Ledbetter Fair Pay Act was passed. There was another Equality Pay Act passed, but this amended the Civil Rights Act and stated that the 180-day statute of limitations for filing equal pay lawsuit regarding pay discrimination resets with each new paycheck affected by that discriminatory action. This gives people more time to file their complaints so they don't miss the opportunity just because they waited too long. And yet the wage gap does still persist. And I mean, people will say, no, it doesn't. Well, if facts don't care about your feelings, then statistics certainly don't care at all about your feelings. And the more we see women taking up positions of power, hopefully, the less we will see that happening. And also minorities, and also indigenous people, and so on and so forth. Queer people, trans people, etc. Some of this, it's not the focus of the topic that we're talking about, but it really makes me angry. So I made it. I did it. Yes. I didn't cuss. Okay. So financial abuse. We talked about coercive control, and financial abuse is part of that. So maybe the abuser will make it impossible for the victim to work because he doesn't want his victim possibly meeting someone else who is not an abuser and leaving him for someone who is kind. Really, that's what it boils down to. It boils down to the abuser is weak and incapable of growing and healing from whatever trauma they might have been through. It's not an excuse, but it's probably a reality. And they take that weakness and that fear out on their victim. And one of the ways they will do that is through financial abuse. So maybe the victim isn't allowed to work, or maybe the victim is expected to work and the abuser takes all of their money. But some people, misguided people, might say, well, how can they do that? How can someone just let someone take their money? If you're being beaten to within an inch of your life and possibly SA'd every time you get your paycheck, think about it. Think about it. Use your brain. Use that gray matter. So when people say, why doesn't she just leave? Why don't they just think logically and critically about the different aspects of abuse and how that plays into a victim's inability to leave? If a person doesn't have a social network to help them out, to help them to get out, and then help them afterward if they don't have any finances, and if they don't have any finances because of their abuser, why? Might it be difficult for a DV victim to leave an abusive situation? Also, why don't we ask the question, why doesn't he stop? Why don't we stop placing the blame on the victim? Place it where it belongs, with the abuser. Financial abuse can take a drastic toll. It isn't just that you don't have money. It's also that you don't have a choice in what you can or cannot purchase. So let's say you need feminine hygiene products, but your abuser is angry at you. So they're going to do what? They're going to punish you by not allowing you to go get the products you need for your period. Because they have the money and you don't. And they're in control. So what do? Yes, that is a thing that happens for those people who don't know. Financial abuse can, will, and does also affect children. Any kind of abuse that a child is exposed to in the home will have an effect on that child. So, maybe the child needs shoes, and the abuser doesn't want to get them and has complete control over the finances. Financial abuse, all these different kinds of abuse, can have a multitude of effects on the victim and also on the children who are also victims. Most people don't really think too deep about it. They just kind of skim the surface and then they ask their asinine questions. Just saying. Okay, so this is another short one. But we are building up. I wish I could drink alcohol right now. A bottle of wine sounds good, but I can't drink alcohol for health reasons, so coffee, yay. Alright. Alright, so remember, you have the right to say no. Your no should be respected. If your no is not respected, cut that person out of your life. You don't need any of that abuse at all. You don't deserve it. You don't need it. Let them go. Alright, bye y'all. Thank you for watching Words Have Power Murder Hour. Please remember to like, share, subscribe, follow, comment, do all the things. It helps us with the algorithm, which helps get the videos up where people who need them might see them. Thank you, and have a good day, night, whatever. Bye.